Here is Joy objectifying the White House press secretary, saying she only has the job because she's hot.
Now to the cackling witch herself, Joy Behar from The View, whose jealousy is something to behold.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Joy Behar's sudden exit from The View has rocked daytime TV, leaving both fans and industry insiders in absolute shock. What could push one of the most outspoken and controversial hosts to walk away so abruptly? It all boils down to one offhand remark that exploded into a scandal of epic proportions, one that spiraled into legal threats, public outrage, and a brutal takedown of The View's entire culture. It all kicked off during a fiery debate on the show. Behar, never one to hold back, took a jab at Karoline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary under President Donald Trump. With her signature bluntness, Behar didn't mince words, suggesting Leavitt's rise had nothing to do with credentials and everything to do with how she looked. She's probably in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10, Behar quipped, her voice dripping with sarcasm. It was meant to get a laugh, but instead, it set off a media firestorm. The reaction was instant and brutal. Gasps rippled through the live studio audience as Behar's co-hosts exchanged uneasy glances. Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former Trump administration insider, jumped in, clearly trying to contain the damage. It wasn't her first job, just her first press briefing, Griffin shot back, attempting to bring some balance to the conversation. But the backlash had already begun. The tension in the room was undeniable, and within moments, social media was on fire. Critics from all sides pounced. The outrage was deafening, with many calling Behar's remark not just dismissive, but outright sexist. Conservative voices, in particular, slammed her for hypocrisy, pointing out her long history of advocating for women, only to tear one down on national TV. Joy Behar just accused Karoline Leavitt of getting her job because of her looks. Imagine if a conservative said this about a liberal woman. One post read, racking up thousands of likes in minutes. Another user didn't hold back. Behar has spent years preaching feminism. Yet here she is, reducing a professional woman to nothing but her appearance. The hypocrisy was unreal. This wasn't just a social media firestorm. Major figures jumped into the fray. Conservative commentator Charlie Kirk didn't hold back, calling Behar's remark disgusting and slamming her for betraying her own so-called principles. But here's where things got even messier. Some of Behar's own allies found themselves at a loss for words. The controversy dominated cable news, with heated debates over whether her comment was just a sarcastic joke gone wrong or a blatant display of bias. Then, just when it seemed like the dust might settle, Karoline Leavitt herself took the fight to another level. Instead of just condemning the remark, Leavitt went all in, announcing legal action. In a bombshell lawsuit filed shortly after the broadcast, she accused Behar of defamation and character assassination, claiming the comment was not just false, but a calculated attempt to damage her career. The lawsuit argued that Behar's words had dealt a serious blow to Leavitt's reputation, especially at a time when she was just stepping into a high-profile role. And then came the real shocker. A sitting White House press secretary was now taking on one of the biggest names in daytime TV. This wasn't just a media scandal anymore. This was a legal battle that could shake the very foundation of The View. With a lawsuit of this magnitude, it wasn't just Joy in the hot seat. It put the entire show under scrutiny. Could ABC, the powerhouse behind The View, actually be held accountable for broadcasting Joy's explosive comment? Legal experts jumped into the debate, with some suggesting this case could set a game-changing precedent for how public figures are treated in media. And behind the scenes, chaos. ABC executives were scrambling, emergency meetings were called, and according to insiders, the network was panicked. This wasn't just a bad joke gone wrong or an offhand remark. It was a full-blown legal and PR disaster. One source put it bluntly, this isn't just embarrassing. This could cause real, lasting damage to ABC's reputation. Even within The View, tensions ran high. The staff was split. Some defended Joy, insisting the backlash was overblown. But others? They saw the writing on the wall. They believed she had crossed a serious line, putting the entire show's credibility on the chopping block. And as the lawsuit gained momentum, one thing became painfully clear. Joy Behar's future on The View was hanging by a thread. Rumors started flying. Was ABC about to make a drastic move? Some insiders speculated she'd be forced into a public apology or even a suspension. But others whispered something even bigger. Was the network about to cut her loose for good? For someone who had been a defining voice on The View for decades, the idea of Joy Behar leaving felt unthinkable. And yet, the controversy had escalated to a point where nothing was off the table. But Joy? She wasn't backing down. She flat out refused to issue a formal apology, brushing off the outrage as completely overblown. Behind closed doors, she reportedly vented her frustration, calling the backlash ridiculous. "This is what I do," she allegedly told colleagues. "I speak my mind. People know that about me." But instead of diffusing the situation, her defiance poured gasoline on the fire, with critics slamming her for refusing to take accountability. Then, the breaking point came. ABC dropped the bombshell. Joy Behar was officially leaving The View. The network's carefully crafted statement called it a mutual decision, wishing her well in future endeavors. But no one was buying it. The timing, just days after the lawsuit was filed, it was clear this scandal had sealed her fate. The media world erupted. Fans were divided, some devastated by the loss of one of the show's most outspoken voices, while others felt her exit was long overdue. And on the conservative side, they were celebrating, calling her departure proof that even big-name liberals could be held accountable for their words. Critics of The View wasted no time jumping on the controversy, calling it more proof that the show had turned into a breeding ground for bias and sensationalism. But the fallout didn't stop with Joy Behar's exit. It sent shockwaves through ABC itself. The network was now under intense scrutiny, facing tough questions about how it handled the scandal and what steps it would take to prevent another PR disaster. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered that this might be the perfect moment for a major shakeup, a new lineup, a tone shift, maybe even a full-blown rebrand to distance the show from its reputation for divisiveness. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt wasn't done making headlines. With her lawsuit gaining momentum, speculation grew. Would ABC cut a deal to make this problem disappear? Or would it fight back in court? Legal experts weighed in, saying the case could have huge implications for media accountability, especially in an era where public figures are no longer afraid to push back hard against negative portrayals. For now, though, Leavitt had the upper hand. Not only had she defended her reputation, but she had also forced one of her loudest critics off the air. Behar's departure wasn't just the end of an era, it left The View at a dangerous crossroads. Could the show bounce back from such a high-profile scandal? Or was this the beginning of its downfall? Losing a powerhouse like Joy Behar meant ABC had to tread carefully as it figured out its next move. One thing was clear. This controversy permanently changed the landscape of daytime TV, sparking a bigger debate. Where's the line between free speech and accountability in a media world more divided than ever? As the dust began to settle, The View itself was now in the hot seat. With Joy Behar gone, the focus shifted to the show's long history of controversies and the serious questions about whether it could stay relevant in an increasingly fractured media landscape. This wasn't the first time The View had been caught in a storm, and let's be real, it wouldn't be the last. But could the show survive yet another scandal? Or was this the final nail in the coffin for one of daytime television's most enduring and controversial programs? Because, let's face it, Joy Behar's exit was massive. But it was just the latest in a never-ending saga of drama that has defined the show for years. The View has built its brand on fireworks, and whether it's on-air screaming matches or behind-the-scenes chaos, it has become a lightning rod for controversy. With its credibility already on shaky ground, speculation ran wild. Was this the beginning of the end? To get the full picture, we need to rewind. The View was designed to thrive on clashing personalities and opposing perspectives. But that very formula has led to some of the most explosive feuds in TV history. Who could forget the legendary clashes between Rosie O'Donnell and Elizabeth Hasselbeck? Their fiery debates over politics turned the set into an all-out battleground, and their on-air shouting matches spilled straight into tabloid headlines. And then there was Meghan McCain, one of The View's most polarizing figures. Her outspoken, no-holds-barred approach didn't just divide the audience. It split the co-hosts right down the middle. By the time she exited in 2021, insiders claimed the behind-the-scenes tension had reached a breaking point. But even as former hosts came and went, the drama inside The View never left the building. The current lineup, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, until recently, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, has had its own fair share of controversy. Take Sunny Hostin, for example. Known for her sharp legal takes, she's now under intense scrutiny, not for her on-air opinions, but because of a bombshell lawsuit involving her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin. The orthopedic surgeon has been accused of being part of a fraudulent medical billing scheme, his name listed among 180-plus defendants in a massive legal case. Though Sunny vehemently denies any wrongdoing, the scandal has cast a dark cloud over her credibility as a co-host. And let's not forget her infamous political commentary. Statements that sparked outrage on social media and led to accusations of bias and hypocrisy. But Sunny's controversy? That was just the beginning. And then there's Whoopi Goldberg, who's had her own share of missteps. Earlier this year, she landed in hot water over comments about historical events, remarks that many viewers found deeply offensive. Even after issuing an apology, the backlash didn't die down. Instead, it gave critics more ammunition, reinforcing claims that The View had completely lost its way. As the show's longtime moderator, Whoopi has been both praised and criticized. Some applaud her ability to steer heated debates, while others say she overpowers discussions, making it nearly impossible for her co-hosts to get a word in. It's a delicate balancing act, and one that's becoming harder to maintain as the controversies keep piling up. But the drama? It doesn't stop with the hosts. The View has also clashed with some of the biggest names in politics and pop culture. Melania Trump, for example, has been a frequent target of criticism on the show, with hosts often speculating about her personal life and marriage to Donald Trump. Sunny Hostin once took a jab, claiming Melania hates Christmas and doesn't want to decorate for the holidays. The comments set off a firestorm, with many slamming The View for unfair bias. Melania herself has mostly stayed quiet, but rumors have swirled that she considered taking legal action against the show. While nothing has been confirmed, the mere speculation highlights just how much The View has become a battleground for political and cultural tensions. And if history tells us anything, the controversy is far from over. And speaking of legal battles, the lawsuit involving Karoline Leavitt is still making waves. The newly appointed White House press secretary wasted no time in hitting Joy Behar with a legal bombshell after her now infamous remarks. This lawsuit has sparked major debate over the boundaries of free speech and the responsibilities of media platforms. With The View already under the microscope, many are wondering, could the show face even more fallout as the case unfolds? Some legal analysts believe this lawsuit could set a game-changing precedent for how public figures are allowed to be discussed in the media. And for a show that feeds off heated debates and controversy, the implications could be huge. With all this drama swirling, it's no surprise that rumors of The View shutting down have started gaining serious traction. Industry insiders claim that ABC executives are deeply concerned about the show's impact on the network's reputation. And with Joy Behar, one of The View's longest-serving, most recognizable hosts, gone, the uncertainty is only growing. Replacing someone as iconic as Joy is no small task. ABC now faces a major decision. Should they bring in fresh blood to shake things up, or double down on the current lineup to steady the ship? Either way, the stakes have never been higher. But not everyone is convinced that The View is on its last legs. Despite all the chaos, The View still holds a loyal audience. And let's be real, its ability to stir up non-stop drama is exactly what keeps people watching. Some argue that the very controversy critics love to slam is what makes the show so addictive. After all, isn't the whole point to bring opposing perspectives together and let the sparks fly? For better or worse, The View has always been a mirror of the times, capturing the cultural and political clashes that dominate the headlines. But even if the show weathers this latest storm, the real question remains: how much longer can it survive under the weight of its own controversies? With public trust in media at an all-time low, The View faces a massive challenge in proving it's more than just a spectacle of sensationalism. Joy Behar's exit marks a turning point, but is it the beginning of a new era or the start of a slow downfall? Will ABC course correct and restore credibility, or will The View continue to spiral deeper into chaos? And let's not forget the ongoing legal battles surrounding its current and former hosts. Because one thing's for sure, this drama is far from over. With all eyes locked on The View, the show is at a critical crossroads. Could this be the start of an even bigger shakeup in daytime TV? What do you think? Is The View on the brink of a comeback or a collapse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because trust us, this saga is just getting started. See you in the next one.